All right. In our last one, we're learning the third method now. So we've learned solving by graphing on our calculator, solving by substitution, that's the assessment you just got back, and the third way is to solve by elimination. I think this is the easiest way, but it does involve a lot of solving. So if solving is an issue, then it might be a little more complicated for you. Your goal every time is to add the equations together so that a variable is eliminated. That's why it's called the elimination method. So you're trying to eliminate x or y from the equations when you add them together. So first and foremost, you're going to make sure that x's and y's and equals and constants are lined up with each other. So x's under x's, y's under y's, equals under equals, constants under constants. To be perfectly honest, I'm not giving you any that are not like that. That's kind of some of the things that we do different in Algebra 1 is we mix them up and they're not like that in the regular Algebra 1. So for you, that's not going to be an issue here. It's going to be lined up. Everything is going to be ready to go. You don't have to change anything, okay? Your goal, though, is the same. Every question. You want to add the equations together and something drops out. Now, what's going to make something drop out when you add it together? You get 0. So like if I have 2 and -2, 7 and -7, 12 and -12, 24 and -24. Something that is opposite numbers gives me 0. That's what makes it be eliminated. It's gone, okay? So, first scenario is one like this. When I go to add these equations together and I look at the coefficients, the numbers in front of the x's, one is a 3 and one is a -3. That's what we want to happen. We want them to be opposites. So, that when I add down, I get 0. They cancel. So 3 and -3 cancel. X's are now eliminated. 3 plus 3 gives me 6. Y equals comes down. -6 plus 0 gives me -6. And I should have a real simple equation there where all I have to do is divide. So -6 divided by 6 is -1. So I've got half my answer. To get the other half, let me finish first. I'm going to plug it in. I go back to one of the beginning equations and I find the letter that I just got. So I got y equals -1 and I'm going to plug in that -1 where I just highlighted. So I'm going to have 3x plus 3 times -1 equals 0. So I take the -1 that I just got and I put it where the y is. And again, it doesn't matter if I use the top equation or the bottom equation. I get to pick. You get to pick. And then I solve it. So this is where solving comes in, what we've been doing for a long time. So I'm going to multiply that. 3 times -1 is -3. I'm solving for x, which means the -3 needs to move over. So I'm going to add it. Always the opposite. 3x comes down. Those cancel. 0 and 3 is 3. And then divide by 3. And x equals 1. So my answer is the ordered pair 1, -1. So again, write your answers as ordered pair x comma y. Okay, second scenario, because remember there are 4 of them, 4 things. But the goal is always the same, that you want something to be eliminated. And the only way it eliminates is when you have opposite numbers. Opposites. They have to be 1 plus, 1 minus. So, in my next example, you're gonna see that if I do this, nothing's eliminated. Because this would give me 6. This would give me 22. However, the numbers on the y are at least the same number. So if one of them were negative, then it would work. So you make it negative. So if you want to make one of them negative, you just have to take it to the entire equation. So you can't just make the 11 negative because you want to make just the 11 negative. You can make the 11 negative by changing all the signs in that equation. Okay, because that's legal to do. Just changing one of them, not. So the top equation is not changing. Eight x plus 11y equals 37. Not doing anything to that. The bottom equation, everything's changing to the opposite. So it changes the sign. All this negative does is changes the signs of everything. So my 2x becomes positive. My 11y becomes negative. And my 7 becomes negative. So all the signs change the opposite. Negative to positive, positive to negative, positive to negative.
So
Yes.
are we always going to change the what's in, sorry, are we always, if we have to do this, are we always going to make the symbol for the ones in the parentheses negative?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so then I add down 8 plus 2 is 10. 11 and negative 11, 0. Eliminated. 37 and negative 7 give me 30. And then divide by 10, and x equals 3. And then I take my 3 and I go back to the beginning. I'm gonna go right there. I can go to this x or I can go to this x. It doesn't matter. They will give you the same answer in the end. So you just pick one. So I'm gonna have negative 2, x is 3, we just found that, plus 11y equals 7. And now my arrow's not kind of in the way. And I solve this. To me, this is where the most work comes in, when you have to go back and get that second number. So I multiply here and I get negative 6 plus 11y equals 7. Solving for y, so I'm gonna plus 6. So 11 cancels, 11y equals 13, and divide by 11. And I get 13/11. Weird answer, doesn't happen very often, but you can get a fraction for an answer. Yes.
So if we do happen to get a fraction as an answer, we wouldn't write, wait, never mind, we didn't, sorry. We spelled them on it.
Okay, so the first one, we didn't have to change anything. The second one, we had to make one of the numbers negative, so we had to multiply by a negative. Third scenario. These are not opposites. These are not opposites. It's not gonna help me to change 3 to a negative because this is a 5. It's not gonna help me to change either one of, well, they're both opposite signs already, but they're different numbers. But your goal is still the same. Okay, let's look at the x's. Is there something I could do to 3 to make it 5? Anything I could multiply 3 by to make it 5? I should say that. Is there anything I can multiply 3 by to make it 5?
No.
No. without using a fraction. I should have said it, because I could use a fraction, but I don't want to do that. Is there something I can multiply 2 by to make it 6?
Yeah. 4 or 3.
That's exactly what you do. You take that whole equation times 3. Very good. So you make it happen. You make it happen. So you're looking at it and you have to decide, how can I make it happen? So looking at my 2 and 6, I can make that 2 a 6 by multiplying it by 3. I just have to multiply the entire equation by the 3. The top equation is not changing, it's staying the same. The bottom equation is becoming 3 times 5, 15x, 3 times a negative 2, negative 6y, and 3 times 14, 42. If at any point in any calculation you are not 100% sure, then you need to use your calculator, okay? And then we add, 3 and 15 is 18. Positive and negative 6 eliminated. Negative 6 plus 42, 36. Divide by 18. Divide by 18. And x equals 2.
So, Mr. Snyder,
Uh-huh.
will there always be one of the two, like either x or y, they'll have to equal each other in order to cancel out? Well, like anything in front of the equals always have to cancel out in order to get your answer.
Correct. One or the other.
Okay.
Mhm. Okay, so we're gonna find y, and I can put that either place. I'll go here, and I'm just picking one, just randomly picking one, because it doesn't matter which one you pick. So I'm gonna have 3. Put my 2 in. Plus 6y equals negative 6. So 3 times 2 is 6. Plus 6y is negative 6. Solving for y, move that 6 first. So 6y is negative 12. So those are both negative, they don't cancel. Negative 6 and negative 6 is negative 12. And divide by 6. And y is negative 2. Okay, let me look through my notes here real quick. And I don't think I did any of those. Okay. We're not doing the 4th scenario, we're just doing the 3 scenarios. Okay, so these are the 3 things that are gonna happen. You're gonna have to do nothing. And as soon as you add, x's drop. You're gonna just have to change the sign. You'll know when to do that because the numbers will be exactly the same. I just have to make one of them negative. Or you're gonna have to multiply one of the equations by some number to make something drop. You do need to make sure that you have positive and negative for it to happen. Yes?
On the second and third one, what were the ordered pairs?
Always x first, so 3, 13, 13 elevenths. And then 2, negative 2. Yes?
So, will there ever be a time in this lesson on our homework or the test that we will have to take and we'll have to divide instead of multiplying or subtracting?
At the beginning?
Okay.
No. Never ever. Okay, so you've got the 3 scenarios. So I'm just gonna kind of mix them up now. Let's look at this one. Okay, look at your x's, look at your y's. You gotta get something to be eliminated. Coefficients are not the same.
It'd have to be x.
It have to be x.
Multiply 3 by 2.
And I'm
it'd
gonna
have to
take-
be 2. You'd have to multiply the bottom section by 2.
Bottom one by 2. Very good. So again, your job is the same every question. It's just, how do I make it happen? So the bottom one, make sure you take it all the way across. Positive 6x, positive 8y equals 22. X's are eliminated. 5 plus 8 is 13. 4 plus 22 is 26. Divide by 13, and y equals 2.
That's better.
Yep,
So where do we plug the 2 into?
where I've just highlighted.
Okay.
So if it says y equals, it has to go either here or here.
Doesn't matter.
You
if
get to
put it on
choose.
top, okay.
Yeah, you can put in either one. You're gonna get the same answer. So I'm gonna have 3x plus 4 times 2 equals 11. Multiply that together. 3x plus 8 equals 11. Subtract your 8. 3x equals 3. And divide by 3, x equals 1.
Why did you do it by the y?
What I put in for y
Yeah.
is over here. That's what I solved for.
Oh, okay.
So when I have y equals here, you gotta make sure you put it for y.
Okay.
That one was gross.
Okay, what do I need to do on this one? Look at your x's and look at your y's. Nothing matches right now, so I can't just add them, or I can't just do a negative. I'm gonna have to multiply by some number on one of them.
You multiply the top one by 3.
Top one by 3. Here I have a negative 3. So if I make that positive 3, then those would be eliminated. That's exactly right. Very good.
So you can multiply top and bottom.
Mhm.
Doesn't matter which one.
Yep,
Okay.
doesn't matter. You'll know, or you should know, if something's not right, because when I get to this next step, so let me get there first. 20, negative 39, 10, 20, 39. 3, negative 9, negative 39. And then this one didn't change. I'll know if I do something wrong, because when I go to
Doesn't
do
matter,
this,
Negative 39, negative 13.
yeah, I gotta take that 3.
Oh, times 3.
And that's that's the most common mistake made in these questions, is people don't take that number times that number. So that's why I always put those parentheses. Hopefully that helps me remember to do everything. So you'll know if you don't do something right, because you have to have numbers that are the same with one positive, one negative, because that's the only way something's eliminated. So then gone, eliminated. Negative 9 plus 4 is negative 5y. And negative 39 plus 14, negative 25. And divide by negative 5. And y is positive 5. I'm gonna go there. So I'm gonna go to that top equation, but again, it doesn't matter which one you choose. The top one is a little bit easier on this particular question, but.
So, I mean, would it make it any easier if you always choose the y and which one you multiply by, like initially?
No, you just wanna pick the best one, because on this, I can't get 3 to be 4.
Yeah.
So that's why I know I'm gonna use X. Alright, so,
well, how do you know which one's the best one to use though?
oh, when I plug this back in,
Yeah.
okay, on this one, because X doesn't have a number in front of it,
Mhm.
I'm not gonna have to divide. That's how I know that one, but really, it's not like super better by any means.
Yeah.
Okay, so I plug my 5 in, so that gives me minus 15 equals negative 13, and then add 15, x equals 2.
Will you count off if we put the y in front of the x, like when we're done with the equation?
Yeah, always want to go alphabetical. Okay, what about this one? What am I gonna do?
Would you multiply the top one by 2? Or
No, I could maybe do kind
Make
of
it
that.
negative.
It'd be a negative 2, but even easier. What are the coefficients on y?
Negative.
When there's not a number, it's understood to be a?
One.
Oops. What are 1 and negative 1 gonna do?
They're gonna
Cancel out.
So I don't have to do anything on this one. Remember, that was our first option. So sometimes you don't have to do anything, you just add. So 1 and 2 is 3. Y's are eliminated. 9 plus 6 is 15. Divide by 3, and x equals 5. And I'm gonna go right there, but I can go to either one. And I'm gonna have 5 plus y equals 9. And I'm gonna subtract 5. And y equals 4. So don't forget about the easier ones. Look for that. If they're opposites to begin with, you don't have any work to do at all. Okay, one more. I think one more. There are 2 options for this one. One's better than the other, but we'll talk about both. Okay, somebody give me a thought what they might just try first.
Or which one would be the equals? Or which one we multiply?
Yeah, you tell me.
Bottom one? Because it really doesn't matter. Because either which one, you would have to either multiply the top one by 2 or the bottom one by 3.
That's what I'm gonna talk about. Okay, tell me about that bottom 1 by 3. What's that gonna make this number right here? If I multiply the bottom 1 by 3, what does it make that number?
3.
Okay.
Or no, it'd make it. Yeah, it'd make it 3. It'd make
Make
it
it 3. So I'd have a 3 and a 3. What would I need?
3. Negative.
I
So
would
it
need
has
a
to be at the
negative
top.
3. So I could do the negative. I could do the 3, but I would need to
You
make it negative. So y is better. Why is y better on this
Because
one?
it's
Because it's
minus.
Because there's plus and minus. Okay, but it doesn't matter. That's perfect. That's a good example of why you can do it however you see it. Like you might see it differently than Maddie sees it, but they're both right. Okay, so you got to figure out what do I multiply by to get something to drop. So as Will said, I could have done the bottom one by a negative 3. That would get my x's eliminated. Or I could do the top one by positive 2, and that would eliminate my y's. So there's more than one choice on some of these questions.
Wait, which one
But
are we doing?
x is better, y is better simply because it's already plus and minus. It's already plus and minus. So I'm gonna get 6x minus 2y equals 10. Don't forget to do the 2 times the 5. And then positive x, this one's not changing, equals 11. So then I add 6 plus 1 is 7, x, y's are eliminated, 10 plus 11 is 21. Divide by 7, and x equals 3. And then go back either here or here, it doesn't matter. The one where I highlighted. So 3 plus 2y equals 11. Subtract your 3, 2y equals 8, and divide by 2, and y equals 4.
Sorry, why didn't we have to plug in the, did we plug in the 3?
Yeah, I did it right here.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have any number in front of it though, so it just was 3.